So I come to this newly retired from a 40-year practice of psychology. So the revelatory power of symbols. Our exploration this weekend have given us the opportunity to see reveal through a number of lenses, both how we receive revelation and what we reveal into the world. Now I'd like to consider this third word, reveal, of our keynote as it is for humanity rooted in psychology and in mythology. Preceded by know and express, and followed by destroy and resurrect, reveal stands at the center. The Tibetan notes the centrality of revelation to evolution of human consciousness too, telling us that it is a constant factor in human experience, a process of leading the blind out of darkened areas of consciousness into greater light, and therefore into vaster vision. The corresponding word for applicants is see. This objective of strictly human evolution is sight, our greatest physical gift, culminating in spiritual perception bestowed on the personality by the soul when contact is made. It is this sight that unveils symbols as we seek their revelations. When we look into our human history of revelation, we find that the sources and processes of revelation differ from East to West. In the mystical traditions of the East, revelation concerns humanity's struggle to cope with the predicament of worldly existence, to achieve freedom, enlightenment, and unity. The focus is on inner experience, contemplation, discipline, and unity. Revelation occurs as an ineffable experience of reality transcendent to the phenomenal world. In the prophetic traditions of the West, particularly the Abrahamic traditions, revelation concerns the sovereign word of God and humanity's obedient response. The focus is on following God's will. Revelation is given to a prophet through audition, dreams, or visions. God freely reveals himself through prophecy. The conflict between these two bestowals of revelation, one through experience and one through being told, is evident in the Apostle Thomas's response to the appearance of the resurrected Jesus to the disciples. Not present at Jesus' first appearance, Thomas refused to believe on the basis of what he was told, saying, "Unless I see the holes that the nails made in his hands, and can put my finger into the holes they made, and unless I can put my hand into his side, I refuse to believe." At Jesus' next appearance to the disciples, without being asked, Jesus invited Thomas to see and to touch. Thomas did and believed. He then, of course, went to be the apostle to India, where the cultural understanding of the role of experience in revelation suited him well. John reports that Jesus then said, "Happy are those who have not seen and yet believe," placing Jesus squarely in the tradition of the Jewish tradition. The Tibetan, however, teaches us that revelation comes through spiritual perception and is a natural process in human evolution. We see that revelation is not reserved for such as Moses and Thomas. The world of symbols is that of our personal life in the phenomenal world. Symbols are responsive to the need of the present moment and to our need to see. They transcend the normal limits of communication, offering possibilities that are inclusive and expansive. Symbols will always carry a meaning or significance of which we are not aware, tell us something about ourselves or our situation that we do not consciously know. The word symbol is of Greek etymology, combining words for together and throw. There is energy implied in this coming together of appearance, meaning, and significance. When we uncover a message that a symbol brings, there is an aha moment, a moment of sudden recognition and surprise. Often this is accompanied by a physically felt jolt as we apprehend new understanding. Anything can be to us a symbol. We are told that on every turn of the path, a man must face himself, so the world is filled with symbols. Our psyche is the creator of symbols, and most often we are aware of them in our dreams, imaginings, and life's synchronicities. Our psyche is also the ultimate interpreter of symbols, finding meaning of symbols within our context, personal, social, cultural, and universal. To bring understanding out of a symbol, there are two aspects to be distinguished: the personal and the universal. Generally, we must begin with the personal and follow our recognitions from there toward the universal. Symbols provide a departure point for a voyage of exploration into the world of soul. It is here that we must search for them and seek out their messages. So let's look now at the role of symbols in following the injunction, know thyself. The Tibetan teaches us that for aspirants, disciples, and initiates, self-knowledge is essential to the purpose of the soul. Initially, the problem is one of self-awareness and the effect that one has upon the world and those around him. In this situation, correct seeing is essential to building self-knowledge. As the detached observer develops and life is lived more in the world of meaning, the problem shifts to the issue of knowledge held in the unconscious, but not yet available to the conscious mind, and to recognition as the teachings become more subtle. In these two instances, the revelation of symbols becomes essential. Modern psychology has much to teach us about recognizing symbols and discovering their meaning. Our guide for this exploration is Dr. Carl Jung. Jung was a colleague of Freud's, but split with him over disagreements about the structure of the instincts in humans. While it's often said that they split because Jung wanted to include the spiritual in the understanding of man, the expansion of his theory to include the transcendent came later, an effect of his own personal journey into the depths of the soul. The amazing record of these discoveries have been published in a book called The Red Book. This magnificent creative work is a journal of Jung's dreams, fantasies, and synchronicities, and his understandings as he listened, observed, and recorded his experiences over nearly 28 years. Jung carefully recorded his dreams and imaginings in exquisite calligraphy and painted many images of the symbols from them. He credits his understanding of the psyche and the development of his theory to his discoveries during these inner explorations. Thus, it can be said that Jung's entire life work is a demonstration of the revelatory power of symbols. I don't want to give an extensive lesson in Jungian theory, but a brief description of some of his concepts is important in understanding our search for meaning. Jung identified 3 layers of minds that make up the psyche or soul. The psyche is in the region between pure matter and pure spirit. It can be said to link them. So it's very similar to our own notion of soul. The three layers of consciousness that Jung identified are the conscious layer that contains thoughts, feelings, and memories that are easily accessed, the personal unconscious layer that contains all from the personal life that is forgotten or repressed, and the collective unconscious layer that is the impersonal aspect of mind where universal psychic energy patterns dwell. Deep within the collective unconscious, beneath the psyche, Jung discovered a universal pattern of unity and wholeness. This structure he called the self. The self lies outside the psyche, beyond the sense of separateness. Here, at the foundation of our being, is oneness. This foundation, the transcendent self, governs the psyche, and its goal is dynamic unity of the whole. Jung's approach to integration and individuation is investigatory, and two of the most important means of doing this is through dream analysis and active imagination. A deeper exploration of these two methods of conscious meeting the unconscious is beyond our talk today. However, I would like to say that one of the books that has helped me most in this is Robert Johnson's book, Inner Work. And secondly, that if you are compelled to follow this path, it's not a journey to be taken alone. So give some strong thought to who you would invite to be your companions along this path. In the search for wholeness, our symbols must become more universal, and here myths will serve us well. Myths are archetypal stories clothed in the symbols of different cultures, all telling the same story of human life, struggles, and triumphs. Mythical symbols carry deep truths of universal experience. Our guide for this exploration is Joseph Campbell. His exquisite recognition of the value of myths across time and space to understand our current situations is well documented. In myths, the truths of humanity's deep psychic interior are externalized in mythical themes and stories. The myth of the search for wholeness is the hero journey. It is the archetypal story of the emergence of self, a journey of self-realization. Briefly, as hero, you must leave the familiar place where you are, enter the realm of adventure, and come to a realization revealed to you symbolically, and return to the field of normal life, bringing what has been revealed to you, your unrealized potential. The adventure is in the realm of the unconscious, of unknown forces and powers, and is always dangerous. In these beautiful words, Campbell summarizes the revelation ever given when the hero journey is taken. We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is well known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path, and where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a god. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. Where we had thought to travel outward, we will come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we will be with all the world. Such is the revelatory power of symbols. Thank you.